What's up, guys? Just a quick channel update today. Um, where to begin? Yeah, it's been a crazy week. After the last video I put up, I had to step away for a few days just to get my head right. You know, I'm sure it was very obvious in that video that my head was not in a good spot. Um, and Yeah, after I put that video out, I stepped away. I didn't look at any of the comments or anything, not until today, um, and I kind of withdrew from the Steam forums for a while, um, just to kind of get myself right in the head, I guess. It's just because you know, I needed some time to kind of come to grips with it myself. But I just want to say that I have been contacted by multiple members of Norbsoft Dev. They were all supremely understanding and forgiving, and as far as they're concerned, it's all water under the bridge. Which was, of course, the thing I was most important to me is that they forgave me. Um, as far as the channel, when I listened back to that video I put up, I was obviously not in my right head, and I certainly phrased some things poorly. Specifically talking about when I nuked the channel without thinking about. Of course, I wasn't thinking about much at that point in a coherent way, but I said that without thinking about how I was phrasing it, and I'm sure some of you probably thought that meant that the content on the channel was gone, destroyed. No, that was never what I did. It's merely hidden from view, but all the content is still on on the channel. It's hidden. You can't see it. Um, I have started to reconstruct the channel. The the brigade scenarios, the division scenarios, those original playlists are already back up. They're cleaned and scrubbed of anything that I thought might be fishy. Um, so, it, and I'm continuing to work on it. It's a lot of work to go through all the comments and so forth and find out, what's okay and what isn't. Most of it is actually okay, I think. Uh, a couple of things I redacted, but not really because I thought there was anything wrong with them. It's because, especially going back to the brigade and division scenarios, those were done many years ago, and a lot of those links linked back to the old Norbsoft website the forums that they're not even on anymore. They're on a whole different site now. So a lot of those links are just dead links and shouldn't be there in the first place. Um, I am working on it, guys. It's going to take some time, but I promise. I'm saying it right here. I promise the channel will be made whole again. Just give me some time. I gotta go through some stuff. There's a lot of old stuff on there, irrelevant stuff, out of date stuff, obsolete stuff. The channel has been in need of an overhaul for some time, especially since when I came up with the idea for this channel, it was supposed to be a resource for new players to come and learn the game. And after I did all that, I started to just treat it like my personal YouTube channel, and I uploaded a lot of stuff that has nothing to do with Scourge of War Waterloo. Some of the Civil War games. I put videos from some of the Civil War games up there. A few other games by other companies. It's not Scourge of War related, and it just kind of started to get a little messy. And I think the more messy I made it, the harder it would be for a new player to come and find their way around the channel in some semblance of order. Uh, so a lot of that stuff I will probably leave off or maybe put up in some other way. I have not fully thought it out yet. But what I'm looking to do in the near future is to finish cleaning up the core scenario tutorials that were the original basis for the channel. So I still have the core scenarios to go and the army scenarios. So I'm working on those. I'll have them back up as soon as I can. Um, and The other thing is, the only thing that's a core part of the channel that I will not be putting back up is the Grog toolbar series. Now, before you guys come from my head, I understand the Grog toolbar series is a core part of the channel, but it's just not relevant anymore. That series of videos was done on a much older iteration of the Grog toolbar. It doesn't even exist anymore. And it's obsolete. It's out of date. It needs to be redone. Um, uh, but until the Grog Toolbar Companion mod comes through and we actually have the full features of the Grog Toolbar, there's really no point, because the Grog Toolbar we have right now is only the Grog Toolbar, superficially speaking. It's just another version of the stock toolbar in terms of it's still only using the stock games movement, the stock games formation. It doesn't have any of the special features that actually make the Grog toolbar. And so there's no point of redoing it now, um, when it's not the whole toolbar. As soon as we get the companion mod and the full features of the Grog toolbar, I'll get right to work on it. But to put the old one back up just doesn't make any sense, because it's out of date. It's obsolete. It's many iterations and revisions old, and it bears no resemblance to what the Grok toolbar is going to be. The new one has far more advanced, has a lot more features than that older iteration. So I'm just going to redo it, and hopefully make it better and more relevant to the toolbar we're actually going to have, rather than a toolbar from 5-6 years ago, however long I did it. So yeah, I won't be putting that one back up, but I'm only not putting it up because I'm going to make a better one once we have the full Grog toolbar. The other thing is, the last video I made, the apology to Norb video, I'm going to be pulling that down. One, because they've all seen it, so it served its purpose, and the other is it had some unintended consequences. It's my week for unintended consequences, right? I mean, I do appreciate all the support you guys showed me in those comments. It really touched me. But some of you, I've seen this more on the Steam forums than in the comments, but some of you have chose to show your support by showing loyalty to me rather than to the game. And some of you have mentioned refunding the game, which is the absolute last thing I ever would have wanted. My whole purpose in being on YouTube was always to support the game, not damage it. So I'm really going to ask you guys that are thinking about refunding the game, don't. You're making a horrible mistake. There's no reason to deprive yourself of playing one of the best Napoleonic games that's ever been made, out of I don't know, out of some sense of loyalty to me. I don't deserve your loyalty. This is just a YouTube channel, that I put out to help new players learn the game. Not that I ever wanted to assemble a following for myself. It was never about myself. It's always been about the game. So I implore you guys that are thinking about refunding the game, please do not do that. You're making a terrible mistake if you do that. I promise you, as I said before, the channel will be made whole again. But even if it weren't, you guys are all selling yourselves short if you think you couldn't figure this game out on your own. I assure you could. I am not some gaming genius that that I am the only one capable of learning this game, at the level I learned it, or being able to explain it the way I explain it. Anybody could do this. I didn't have any sort of video guides to learn the game when I learned it. I just had to figure it out for myself. And what I'm trying to say is that if I can do it, any of you can do it. So all I wanted to do was to make that process a little easier for people and help them kind of crest that. I admit the learning curve is steep, especially at the beginning, because it's kind of a different type of interface than most games have. But if I could do it, any of you could do it. But be that as it may, I'm still working on the channel. I am going to reconstruct it. I will put everything that should be up there back up there. Just give me some time, and it'll happen. As I said, the brigade and division playlists are already back up. They've been cleaned of anything that is either dead links or fishy to me, and everything should be good. Obviously, as the game evolves, some of that could be on the chopping block too. If they start changing scenarios and changing, I don't know, anything, deployments, victory conditions, objective values, or whatever, and those videos become irrelevant, I will have to cut them and redo those too. Because I would like to update everything for the remaster as much as possible. Right now, it's not necessary. The game itself is still the same now as it was then, but I'm not privy to what could happen in the future, and if anything changes, I'm open to updating whatever needs to be updated. But right now, the core tutorial series is pretty much fine on its own, and just kind of the Grog toolbar series needs to be redone. As I said, it's very old, it's obsolete, it's out of date. And the new toolbar coming is much better, and I'd much rather redo that series with the new toolbar, so it'll be relevant, to everybody that's coming into the game now at this point in the remaster. Beyond that, I wanted to say that everything is cool, guys. I know I sounded bad in that last video, and I wasn't in a good space. No question about it. But a lot's happened behind the scenes since then. I've talked to multiple members of Norbsoft Dev, including Norb, and they were all supremely understanding and forgiving. Like I said, much more so than I deserved. Yeah, just be patient, guys. I promise I will get the channel back up and running. And some of it, as I said, is already back up there, but I'm continually working on it. The next thing I'm working on is the core series playlist. After that, I'll get the Army series playlist back up there, and then some of the other less stuff that's less relevant to the channel as a resource to new players. I'll put the series I did on Waterloo, where I was trying to reach 300,000 points. That'll go back up. Les St. Georges will go back up. I just need a chance to go through it all. So yeah, that's it, guys. I'm doing a lot better. Everything's cool. I will bring the channel back, I promise. And just please, guys, keep supporting the game. Please don't refund it over this. That was never what I was hoping would happen. I am thankful for the support, but it's the game first, always the game first, that really deserves your support. All I wanted to do was create a resource to help new players learn the game. That's it for today, guys. I'm going to get back to work, working on cleaning the channel, and hopefully by tomorrow or maybe the day after, I'll have the core series back up, and then I have to get started on the Army scenarios, which will take a little longer because there's a lot more of them. A lot of them are broken up into different parts, different episodes, so I have to go through them one by one and see if there's anything that is dead or doesn't belong. And I'll get those back up as soon as I can too, guys. All right, so I'll see you guys next time for the next update. Take it easy.